do we want to accomplish? What direction do we want to go? Part 3, the mission and vision statements for Part 2 relate directly to the core principles. Part 3 are what objectives do we want to accomplish? And those are to relate directly to the mission and vision statements. Part 4 is our actual organization structure. We need to design an organizational structure that allows the resources to accomplish the objectives that we define in Part 3. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Okay. Part 5 is when we start taking actions that are designed to affect those objectives that we define in Part 4. And then Part 6, we need to bring it all together by defining rules. We have to establish formal rules for elections. We started discussing that last week. We need to delegate power, voting rights, responsibilities, and different procedures to modify existing rules or remove officers, aka bylaws. So that's one of the main things we have to do over the coming months, to really define what this group stands for, what we're trying to accomplish, and then start taking real action to help reach those objectives. And if anybody steps forward and wants to take certain action, we need to really help them to change the world that is around us right now. Part 1 is the core principles, like I said. We've defined those. We have to come up with a way to change them if need be. If we want to do a supermajority, we can discuss all this over the coming couple weeks. Part 2, the mission and vision statements. The proposed mission statement that I've started laying out, this is by no means the way it's going to be at all. I definitely want some inputs and start having different meetings or having email chains back and forth. I don't know how to accomplish this. That's why I come to you guys, because you guys are smarter than I could ever pretend to be. So I definitely love bouncing these things off of you. The proposed Fort Walton Beach Tea Party mission statement: to give voice and power to the people, to demand, propose, and enact legislation from the people that protects and expands the constitutional liberties and protections. Liberties and protections. Promotes responsible spending, reduces the tax burden on all Americans, demands transparency and accountability of all levels of government, relies on individual freedom and responsibility, and protects the free enterprise economy. Basically what I was trying to define is the mission of the Tea Party is to help the people to carry out these core principles. So that's how I want to try to relate that. Part 3, some objectives, and again we'll define these over the coming months. So how should we present these in the coming meetings? How do people submit these? How do we stand up and just say, here's an objective that I would like to accomplish? But some of the things that I quickly jotted down: all actions taken by teams shall be tied to these objectives. Give local citizens a more prominent role in local, state, and national politics. I think that was readily defined when Henry got a call from the governor asking what our opinion is. Get people interested in participating in Tea Party teams and events. Teach people the issues and how to relate to the core principles. Organize all parts of the community to pressure the next highest level of government. Develop an organizational structure best suited to carry out the mission statement. Develop a comprehensive media strategy that highlights the core principles and paints a picture of the effective political organization that embraces mainstream ideas and strategies. Empower people to individually or in teams to advance the core principles and mission statement. Develop innovative communication strategies to reach all citizens effectively. Again, these are mostly designed to organize this group to help individuals who want to stand up, like Jean. She looks like she's starting to stand up individually, and we cannot hold her back. We need to help her and relate it to our core principles if we can. When Jeff Ross is doing some type of event over at the Emerald Coast Conference Center, we need to ask, you are doing a good job, how can we help you?
Buy a ticket.
Besides that.
It's a Constitution Freedom Rally.
But this is really going to come down to individuals who want to stand up and create change in our country. How do we help you? How do we get you the resources, the people, the experts to affect positive change? Part 4 is going to be the organization. Basically the way Ruth really helped me out a lot with organization chart. We want to try to do a chairman up at the top, and the 6 people in that executive team. There's going to be 7 people in this, I don't know what we call it, some type of executive team. There's going to be the chairman, communications team, treasurer, events team, legislative team, vice chairman team, and the community outreach team. And if you guys have any other important teams that need to be formed to help individuals to accomplish certain things, then I'm all ears. We'll be discussing those over the coming weeks. Let's see. The organization is to develop internal resources, get people involved, specialize tasks, make general group decisions, empower individuals to take action, and help other groups to use our model. One of the things I've been bouncing off a couple of people based on some of your inputs is to start something that I've tentatively called an incubation program, where it does 3 different things. It is there to start and support other Tea Party type groups. We helped form the Niceville Tea Party. We worked really hard with them to give them more of a Tea Party group. Navarre, we're trying to support them, and if we can do this right, if we can come up with a good strategy to continue to duplicate what we've accomplished here with the Fort Walton Beach Tea Party, then we can try to help form thousands of tea parties across this country. Number 2 is to form tiger teams. The tiger teams take on individual issues, and they're the ones that coordinate all the different things. Like Jean, if she forms a tiger team, then she would be the point for people to go to her if they really feel passionately about the immigration issue. And then Jean would coordinate both with her team and with the Fort Walton Beach Tea Party to say, here's the resources I need. So we don't want to leave you out all by yourself if you were to take on an immigration issue. This is just for an example. We don't want to leave you out by yourself. We want to basically give you a bigger megaphone where if you need to talk to the governor of Florida, then we have the appropriate contacts as a group to get you in contact with the people you need to be in contact with. And then 3, to form support organizations like think tanks, media outlets like newspapers, different things to help us as a group to reach out to the community. Part 5 is to take different actions once we have the organizational structure in place. Again, those actions need to affect specific objectives. We can't take action just for the sake of taking action. It has to actually accomplish something. That helps us focus our resources because we don't have a heck of a lot of resources, just a couple $1,000 here and there, and just hope that we can do something with it. Those actions are going to be led by tiger teams, and they will report at future meetings to say, here's what I've accomplished, here's the obstacles I've run into, here's more resources that I would really like. And then once that tiger team leader stands up, then we can vote as a group to get them more resources or somehow support them with more manpower, hold events, or whatever it takes to help them to continue to have a larger and larger voice in our nation's politics. In part 6, we have to start coming up with rules. We need to establish formal rules to hold elections, delegate power, I agree with that, bylaws. But we need to come up with a team that starts helping to finalize and formalize these in advance of basically a referendum here, a ratification to say this is what we want, this is what we don't want. So this is just a guide to what's coming down the pike. I think that's it. And get involved. We're going to try to start using the forum on our website. There's a little forum box at the bottom of it. We'll try to use that to communicate with each other. We'll see how that goes. We might have to do a special meeting over the next couple months to help out with some of this stuff. And again, inform yourself of the different options. We'll try to formalize this as much as possible because the end goal, we want to be able to help all surrounding tea parties, reach out to them so we can start building a net where we can reach across the entire country and start really taking some major to long-term change. So that's what we got. Any questions?